Lan Qiren narrowed his eyes into slits. Don't forget what you promised me back then. Lan Wangji moved slightly, but remained silent. Lan Qiren's gaze hardened. Lan Wangji, a gentleman's word is as solid as a mountain. Are you going to break your promise? Lan Wangji's silent resistance was evident, and Lan Qiren stared at his slender figure bathed in the cold candlelight, rendered speechless with astonishment. The hall fell silent for a while until, finally, someone couldn't help but ask, why did Wei Ying steal the deceased sect leader's wife's relic? He doesn't even know what it is. What use does he have for it? As soon as these words were spoken, a buzz of whispers filled the hall, as if voicing the questions many had. Numerous eyes turned towards the head of the Lan clan seated at the table. What is this relic? They say it was something the woman left for the sect leader before she died. What exactly is it? No one knows. Only one person likely knew what the relic was, but that person within the gaze of the crowd remained silent, seemingly unwilling to answer everyone's questions. The temporary surge of investigative fervor gradually dissipated, and the conversation among the crowd resumed. Wei Ying's actions are truly baffling. Could there be some misunderstanding or hidden story behind all this? Lan Qiren's beard twitched for a long moment before he raised the note in his hand. Lan Wangji, I ask you, do you know why he stole your mother's relic? For an instant, the figure kneeling meticulously below seemed to have been struck by something. Lan Wangji's complexion turned slightly pale. His lips parted as if he was about to speak, but held back. The crowd, momentarily enlightened, leaned forward eagerly, anxious to hear what he had to say. Lan Wangji slowly looked forward, a trace of pain flickering in his cool eyes. He spoke with extreme difficulty. I suspect that Wei Ying did not steal my mother's relic out of greed, but rather to force me to divorce him. The room erupted in an uproar. So, Wei Ying intentionally wants to leave the Lan family. Wei Ying may be troublesome, but didn't the couple have a good relationship after he joined the family? Is he really intent on severing the marriage? Who knows what Wei Ying is thinking? He's incorrigible, reckless, and unruly. His talent is commendable, but what good has it done him? Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Why should someone like him remain in the Lan family? I fear that Wangji refused to agree, so Wei Ying decided to go all out, deliberately committing an unforgivable offense, making a clean break from the Lan family. Young couples often quarrel and then make up quickly. It shouldn't have come to this. Wei Ying is impulsive. With things like this, it's humiliating for both sides. How can this situation possibly be resolved? How can this be resolved? Things have reached this point and the other party is determined to leave. Are we supposed to beg him to come back? The only outcomes are either a divorce or an annulment. It's easy for you to say, but look at Wangji. Does it seem that he's willing to let that boy go? Lan Qiren pointed at the dejected figure below with extreme distress and said, He's gone to such lengths to leave you, and you still want to keep him? At that moment, a disciple pushed the door open and handed a letter to Lan Qiren. He glanced at the signature on the letter, quickly opened it, and after reading it, his tightly knitted brows relaxed a bit. Resting his hands on the desk, he said slowly, Zhang sect leader's reply states that the boy has confessed his crime. The stolen items have been returned intact and are under his care. He will bring the items back and apologize personally in a few days. Beside Lan Qiren, Qing Heng Jun seemed to let out a long sigh of relief. He had been sitting quietly for a long time without expressing any opinions. Now, he remained silent. Lan Qiren glanced at him a few times and finally couldn't hold back. Elder brother, what do you think about this situation? Upon hearing this, Lan Wangji suddenly raised his head to look at his father. As the head of the family and the victim of the theft, his words carried the most weight. If he gave a decisive response, Wei Ying would surely not be able to stay, and this matter would be firmly settled. Qing Heng Jun looked at Lan Wangji with a complex expression. Then after a moment, he said resolutely, You chose him yourself. You decide. Lan Wangji's eyes widened. What did this mean? Everyone else understood that letting Lan Wangji decide meant he had the option of keeping Wei Ying. Qing Heng Jun's words carried considerable depth. If he had outright forgiven Wei Wuxian, he would have said so explicitly. However, he did not reveal his stance and instead took a step back. At one level, it naturally meant he was respecting Lan Wangji, allowing the young couple to decide their own matters. At another level, if one were to ponder carefully, it implied that Qing Heng Jun intended to let go and be uninvolved, leaving Lan Wangji to manage and take responsibility for the path he chose, regardless of whether it led to glory or endless trouble. Whether they weather the storms together or end up sharing a bed, yet dreaming different dreams, it would be Lan Wangji's decision and a burden. Any future entanglements and grievances he would bear alone, burdening the consequences and ensuring it concerned no one else. Lan Qiren was rendered speechless, and after a while he spoke with difficulty. What do you mean by letting him decide? Wangji is currently deluded, stubbornly determined to protect that boy. But this Wei Ying is now capable of such rebellion, showing blatant disregard for seniors. If we continue to tolerate him, are we to wait until he commits some outrageous act that defies principles and betrays his teachers and ancestors? Qing Heng Jun glanced at him indifferently, their eyes meeting, causing the tension in the air to suddenly thicken. And Lan Qiren's voice abruptly stopped. His unspoken words were clear enough. Acts of outrageous defiance, betraying teachers and ancestors, just like the former clan leader's wife. The hall fell silent. Even the most oblivious individuals understood Qing Heng Jun's stance now. A man who had once suffered for love and acted with unyielding determination years ago, now saw a vague reflection of himself in his own son, but chose not to interfere, allowing things to take their course. This clearly indicated that he had endured coldness for many years, carrying both love and hate, and remained unrepentant to this day. Perhaps Lan Wangji resembled him now, but hadn't yet reached that extreme. Compared to Qing Heng Jun and his wife back then, Lan Wangji and Wei Ying were already much better off. There were still chances for things to change. Perhaps by giving their best effort, they might achieve an eternal legacy of love. After a long while, a light cough pulled everyone out of their heavy memories. The elderly Lan master, Qing Heng Jun, suddenly spoke. Regarding Wei Ying, it seems he stole for the sake of stealing without any intention of theft or appropriation. In truth, it wasn't really theft. If the original items are returned, it was merely youthful impulsiveness, not a grave offense. I think we should just let it go. After these words were spoken, the hall buzzed with discussions. Those without deep-seated bias against Wei Wuxian soon echoed Qing Heng Jun's remarks, agreeing one after another. Indeed, the Lan clan hasn't suffered any real loss from this matter, since the clan leader is generously forgiving. We should bring Wei Ying back, punish him to teach him a lesson, and let it be. The unexpected turn of events meant that Lan Wangji was no longer fighting alone, kneeling until his knees were sore. He finally saw a glimmer of hope. Unable to contain the joy on his face, he looked up at Lan Qiren, his eyes shimmering like polished cat eyes. Qing Heng Jun, a highly respected elder, shifting his stance instantly caused a dramatic reversal in the situation. Lan Qiren could hardly stay seated. This is unacceptable. That boy is unruly and incorrigible. How can the Lan family tolerate such a person? Seeing that Lan Qiren was about to start his usual rhetoric all over again, Qing Heng Jun, as if his ears had grown calluses, rubbed his ear and interrupted firmly, saying, "The boy is not as bad as you make him out to be. He is straightforward and genuine by nature, and the mistakes he made before were just minor mischiefs that did no real harm. His nature is like this, but it isn't a serious fault. If he's given time and opportunity to stay with Wangji, with their love and companionship, he will gradually learn to be steady and responsible. You keep saying he is beyond redemption and will inevitably make a big mistake in the future, but isn't that a rash judgment? Our family rules say that we should not rashly judge others. Qiren, shouldn't we reflect on that ourselves?